Today, we're going to talk about the DJI OSMO Mobile. Hi everybody, my name is Curtis Eustace with Curtis Eustace Photography, where everybody can learn to be the photographer and or videographer they've always wanted to be. Today we're going to talk about the DJI OSMO Mobile. DJI has been around for a while and they're known for making drones. I have the Phantom 3 Professional, which shoots 4K. They have the Phantom 4, plus they have some commercial drones that are bigger for cinematography and things like that. They also make a handheld camera called the DJI Osmo. Now the Osmo is a little bit different than the mobile in that the Osmo doesn't use your mobile phone. It actually has a built-in camera. It's a good rig, it's nice, but they developed this particular camera or this particular gimbal for people wanting to use their cell phones. So who would want one? Well, if you're a gadget guy like me, you would want one. They're pretty cool. It stabilizes video. You would use it for vacations. You could use it for just about anything you wanted to. It also gives you the ability to live stream from Facebook and YouTube and whatever service you want to. Now, you don't actually have to use the DJI app for those things. You can use the Facebook app or the YouTube app or whatever app you want. The gimbal will stay the same. So right now, I don't even have any pro software turned on. As you can see, I'm moving this around, back and forth, and it's keeping the phone relatively stable. And it does a really, really good job compared to trying to hand hold the actual phone itself. Actually holding the phone itself can be kind of awkward sometimes. This gives you a handle that you can actually hold on to and do. Okay? One of the downsides to this is that it uses the onboard microphone for your camera or for your phone. And typically speaking, your onboard microphones for the phones aren't really that good, and you get kind of an echoey sound to it. So what do you do about that? Well, the DJI has a little port right here that you can screw adapters in and accessories. One of the accessories I got was this, and actually this is for a GoPro. This is a GoPro attachment. You can put a suction cup on it. It was designed so you could put a GoPro on just about anything you wanted to. But I'm taking this and I'm actually putting it into the side here. So there it is. So this is screwed on, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring this around here to the side, right here. Now, for the phone, I'm going to turn this off for a second. When you turn it off, it usually goes limp. And when you turn it off, this should be balanced so it doesn't go either way. Okay, so it shouldn't just like flop one side. And you can adjust this in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the phone out just a bit. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in my microphone. Now, this particular microphone is just a Rode, it's a Rode Video Micro. So this is actually designed for a camera. So it actually has the wrong plug on the end for a phone. Now, this is the right plug. This is an adapter cable I got from Rode. And inside, this goes into the microphone, and it's a 2-band plug. And you just plug that into the microphone, and then this 3-1 goes into the phone holster. And so it's going to hit this little part here, so you don't want it to hit. You just bring it right up to it. That should be good. And then you tighten this down. Right here. Okay, so now it may or may not be out of balance. It's a little bit out of balance. You can see it's tilting, so I'm going to adjust this side here. So now it should be good. You want to try to reduce the amount of stress on this here. So I had some cord stress, so it was throwing the balance off. So I'm going to rebalance it. I'm going to bring this out just a little bit more. So right now it's balanced. And my phone is not in airplane mode, so you just heard it go off. So it should be a little bit, it's just playing with it a little bit. There we go. So there, that's pretty well balanced. If you don't have it balanced, what happens is, let's say that you turn it on and it brings it up. This motor in here will actually wear out sooner, and you'll be able to feel that it's hot. If this is hot to the touch or warm to the touch, you know that this motor is working more than it should, and you need to turn it to rebalance it. So then I'll go ahead and turn it back on. And there we go. So I have my microphone, and then I have my camera. So now one bad thing is that if you're left-handed, this will get in the way of your trigger. So you may have to kind of fiddle with this to figure out which way to do it, or just switch it over to your right hand, one of the two. So, but it does a nice job. You get good sound with this. You can also use a Video Micro Me, which is designed specifically for a cell phone, but then you have to have basically a different cable for it, which you can find on Amazon. But it's a good little setup. Now, this also has a couple other attachments which you can add on to the camera. So let's just take this off for a second. So DJI makes what they call like a little tripod. Okay, so this is a tripod, and it just flips out like this. Then it has little legs that flip out. To use this tripod, now you don't have to flip out the legs if you don't want to. You can just have it in like this, and you can set it on your tabletop. But for it to work with the gimbal, you have to have this, and this is like an extension. And these are available through DJI or Amazon. And this basically just screws into the legs of the tripod. Okay, and then it sets down, and then this part will screw into the actual gimbal. So there you have it. Okay, so then all of a sudden your phone can be tripod mounted. So of course it's out of whack because it is. So now it's tripod mounted. So now I could leave it on a tripod, and there you go. Now the app itself has what they call a face tracking feature too. So if I want to, let's say, set it up on a tripod and then I want to just leave it and then walk over to the other side, I can actually start the DJI app and then do the face tracking. And I'll show you that in a minute when we go outside. But you could leave this on the whole time, theoretically, this whole thing, and just use it as an extension, as an arm. And you could just sit there and hold it like this. Now you wouldn't be able to control the gimbal, but if you had it in face tracking mode, the gimbal would automatically respond to whichever way your face is. But this is an option if you just want to set it down and leave it be. Okay, so this is the DJI Mobile right now, and I have my phone plugged into it. This is Samsung S7, all right, and I've got the shotgun mic plugged into it, and now I'm going to turn on the face tracking. So right now, if I move the camera with my hand left or right, the gimbal will automatically track me as long as I have my face. So as long as my face is visible, the gimbal will automatically track it. So sometimes I don't have to be paying attention so much, and if my arm moves off to the right or to the left, the gimbal will automatically compensate for that. Let's say I change hands to my left hand, and now it's over here. The gimbal will automatically compensate for that. So that's nice. And you can kind of see that the steadiness of it is pretty good. So I'm just walking here. It's taking all the bump and the shake out of it, so it really does work. and it works nicely. Now, the question is, it does have a limited range of motion, I've noticed. So it's not going to be total range of motion. You will reach limits at some points. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to exit the tracking mode, and then I'm just going to go. So it's going down, it's going down, it's going down. So you can almost look straight down with it. But it doesn't go quite straight down. So it does have that kind of range of motion. You can go left or right, but it looks like it's about 45 degrees to the left, where you can angle it to the right, and I'll show that inside on the regular camera. But it's all in all, it's a pretty nice little device. If you're going to be doing any type of talking, or you're going to be out moving around, it's definitely worth a look at to have a gimbal. There's nothing worse than shaky video where you're making everybody sick. And I remember as a kid growing up, I used to watch people's home movies, and a lot of times the motion was so rough, I was like, I was going to toss my tacos. So this will take care of that. So what about, we talked a little bit about range of motion. Range of motion is pretty good. So you can see that it'll almost look straight up, but it won't look quite straight down. So it goes pretty far though. It goes about what, 45 degrees down? So your up is your greater range of motion. It does work upside down. So you could have a low shot, low camera angle, and it still works upside down. So if you're a filmmaker and need a little lower light and you're using your phone, it'll work upside down. It uses the normal DJI Osmo batteries. This particular one doesn't come with a charger. It comes with a port in the front, right above the switch. And so you leave the battery in it, you plug it in, and then plug it into a USB charger or a USB port on your computer, and it'll charge it. I have the actual DJI Osmo charger that came with the original Osmo and 3 extra batteries. The battery life of these things really lasts a long time. So I'm guessing, I haven't yet, I'm only on 80% and I've used it for quite a bit. So I'm thinking that one battery should last you almost all day if you're using it. One of the reasons why is because it's not running the camera itself. Your battery on your camera is running the battery. So that's a little bit redundant, isn't it? The battery on your phone is running the camera. So all the battery that the Osmo is worried about is running the gimbal. So you will have to worry about running your battery down on your phone. So I would suggest having some sort of external battery charger or some way to charge your phone if it doesn't have interchangeable batteries, which most phones don't have interchangeable batteries anymore. So it's a nice little device. Is it worth the $300 for it? I don't know. It depends on you and what you want to use it for. I plan on using it for live broadcasts and things like that. I used it last night for a Facebook live broadcast, and it seemed to work just great. And I had the microphone, and everything sounded great. So, you know, for me, yes, it was worth it. So I'll hang on to it and keep it. It's just one more tool in my bag to help me do the things I need to do. But if you get a chance to check one out, check one out. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I appreciate a subscription. And we'll talk to you later. Have a great day.